Hello, gorgeous girl. Hello, gorgeous girl. Hello, gorgeous girl.
Good morning, my darlings, and welcome to a new reading vlog. So I have not read anything since I last saw you yesterday in last month's vlog. As I predicted, I have just been spending all my time working on my new decks. This is crooked. That is better. So I haven't read. I have no idea what I'm going to read. I've got the physical books still from the library, so I might read those, or I might see what's available on Libby. Yeah, I still haven't recovered, but I have to soldier on. I've got the 40-day wake for my uncle who passed away, so that's what I'll be doing today. I don't know if I'll do anything afterwards, if I'll just want to come straight home. We shall see. I think there's meant to be a storm today, so I might have to just, head on home. But I've got a very busy week this week. This is the week of Christmas. So I've got last minute catch-ups and things I need to do before stores close over the Christmas break. And obviously Santa must come. So I'm a busy little bee. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe all I did was read one book this week. It could be that kind of week. Let me just see what I've got on Libby as an option. Does everybody else's Cobra Color also take a really, really long time to start up? Or is it just fine? I'm assuming because it's a colour, that's why it takes so long, but do let me know if you've got one in case this is actually faulty. Okay, I do have a few library books. So I've got Word by Word, The Secret Life of Dictionaries by Corey Stamper, if I want a non-fic. I also have Beasts of the Void, Voidwalker by S.A. McLean, if I want a fantasy. Death and Other Occupational Hazards by Veronica Dapunt. I don't even know what that was. I'm going to guess a thriller. And I've also got The Definitions by Matt Green. So I've got 4 options. I might just see what tickles my fancy, but I have to get going. It's a very, very early morning service and it's a bit of a drive, and I'm also going to be taking my brother and dropping my kids off at their dad's today. So I'll see you guys later on. Okay, I am back. I didn't even end up staying till the end, so a bit of a miscommunication. We thought it was just the service for my uncle and then followed by the meal. It wasn't. So it is a normal Greek Mass service. And for those of you who don't know, normal Greek Mass on a Sunday goes for hours. I mean 3 to 4 hours. So when we rocked up, we thought we were early. So we were like standing around outside. So I did start reading was it The Definitions by Matt Green? So this was a book that is set in a dystopian world where people supposedly have gotten a virus that has caused them to have amnesia, and they've been put in a center where they're being taught things. It feels a bit like indoctrination. They're being taught things and they're trying to figure out what's going on. I just didn't like the way it was written. It was very confusing. It was almost Piranesi-like in a way, but yeah, it wasn't for me. But yeah, I tried really hard to stay, but we were there for an hour and a half and there were no seats. It was fully packed, and I can't, as you know, I've got my health conditions and I had to go. So my mum's still there, my brother and I said, look, we've got to go. Like I need to sit down outside at least. And then we went to go and sit down outside, but then it started raining, and it turns out that the flood storm that is coming, so we've got a flood warning, hit earlier than anticipated. So I thought it was going to hit about 12, but it started raining at 11:15. So we were just like, I'm really sorry, we have to go. We have to go. I need to get home because those buckets will fill up, and if I'm not home to empty them, I could have a very bad situation on my hands. So I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. It's very draining. I don't know. I understand it's tradition, the way that they run these masses, but I just feel like going forward, once all the Ayas and Papus have passed away, are people my generation, are they really going to go and spend 4 hours every Sunday listening to a man moan into a microphone? Obviously, they do the sermons in Greek and they talk about things and they sometimes sing songs too, but a lot of the time it's just, oh, And I'm like, cool, but do we need to do that for 30 minutes? It just seems like it needs to be shortened. It's just so long. And there were really elderly people there standing, and I'm like, how can they stand up for hours on end? That's crazy. It's crazy, dude. But I'm going to get undressed and get ready for the rains. But I think I might go on to Voidwalker, or I might do that Witches of Dubious Origin, since I've got that paper book. I might do that. Or I might go and just work on my deck in between emptying buckets. I don't know. I'm just really tired. Bye. Yeah. Fun times, guys. Fucking hell. I might have flooding in more areas than just the front.
Hello, Nova.
Good morning, guys. It is very, very, very early in the morning. And I am going to get some fillings. Yay. I'll see you later. Hey guys, so I came home, had a nap, and I'm feeling much better. I DNF'd a bunch of books. I don't feel like talking about them. I'll just flash them up on the screen. But I did start reading a book that I am thoroughly enjoying thus far, and that is Word by Word, The Secret Life of Dictionaries by Corey Stamper. So this is a non-fiction kind of memoir about a woman who gets a job at Merriam-Webster and discovers that words are feral creatures. This is for the nerds who would read the dictionary for fun and who possess Sprachgefühl, a feeling for language. I am that nerd. And I do believe that a career as a lexicographer might have been a really apt one for me if I had known that it existed. I feel like that is something that a lot of kids go through, is that we're not actually aware of all the jobs that exist in the world. So I think there are so many that I would have absolutely thrived in, but I just didn't know they were a thing. But the first chapter, we're just learning about how she got her job at Merriam-Webster and sort of what the office is like. Just think a whole bunch of introverts who almost never interact and are just obsessed with words and their meanings. The second chapter, we've gone on to grammar. I must say I'm not loving it, but I don't love grammar in general. Love words, grammar not so much. But I think this is right up my alley. It's written in a very fun way. It's wordy, and yeah, I'm just geeking out. So I highly, highly believe that I will definitely finish that book for this reading vlog. So I'll be continuing on with that. Today I'm going in the city to meet T. Have I mentioned on this vlog? So T is Kate, my best friend. Kate has changed her name to T. So from this point forward, we'll be referred to as T unless they change again. So meeting T, we're going for a degustation lunch at Her, which is one of my favorite places ever. I also want to drop off more clothes to sell, and I'd love to get some more drinks. And speaking of drinks, I've decided I'm not going to limit myself. I'm trying to find, non-coffee, chocolate, matcha drinks that actually appeal to me was not only difficult, but there would be other options on the menu that sounded fucking amazing. And then I'd be like, oh, but I really want that one. And life's too short to deny myself. So instead, it's the best drink of the summer. So these 4 seasons, best drink of the whatevers are just going to be whatever drink ended up being the best. If it's a matcha 4 times a year, so be it. So I'm just going to order whatever tickles my fancy and sounds interesting. I'm obviously branching out. I'm not just getting straight cappuccinos or straight matchas. I actually want fun spins on classic drinks. So I'm looking forward to trying some more drinks today. But I will check in with you later once I've read some more. Okay, so this was actually meant to be my family Christmas outfit, but it is going to be cold on Christmas Day, freezing, winter weather. So I was like, no, I'm not going to wear this to my family Christmas. But yeah, this was originally meant to be family Christmas outfit. Okay, T just messaged me. She slipped on the way to the station. I don't know if that means she's not coming though. So I'm going to start going there But if she's not coming, I'm not even going to bother going into the city, because why? Why would I bother? I might just go to do the clothes thing and have lunch there instead, solo. I was going to go to a bakery and get a drink and a sweet, but obviously they've got holiday hours and they're not open. But I don't know if I can go anywhere else. All the places might be closed. Okay, I'm back. Oh, magpies. Yep, I'll come out in a sec. Magpies want their food. Oh, hey, beautiful. Unfortunately, today didn't go to plan. I was really looking forward to having a decadent lunch with my best friend, but shit happens and she had to go home and rest her ankle. So I just took myself out. They took some clothes, which is good. And I got some new books. So we've got Here Are My Demands by Andrew Roth. It's 2058. So this is a futuristic dystopian, maybe, speculative. And this one, it's caught my eye, The Age of Video Games, A Graphic History of Gaming from Pong to VR and Beyond by Jean Zide and Emily Rouge. Press start on an immersive journey. So how cool is that? I love video games and I love graphic novels. And maybe this will be a cool way to read a nonfic. We'll see. But those are the books. And I did finish reading the grammar chapter. Oof, that was rough. That was not a fun read. And I was like, maybe I will DNF this. No. I'm now on to, erroneous words? So words like irregardless, which is not a word, it's regardless, but so many people use irregardless that they had to include it in the dictionary to mean the same thing as regardless because it's in the social lexicon. So that was interesting. But yes, I will continue on. Hey, Nova. Nova, my biggest girl, my crankiest girl. I love you. Yep. Feelings not mutual. Bluebell, I'm trying to get Sylvie looking all majestic. What? Bluebell. No, forget about it. Hello, my darlings. I'm here. Nova wants to get out. Hold on. Oh, I have cats scratching at the door, so I'm going to have to try and speed run this. Yeah, I've been very caught up with doing the decks. I finished 2. There are 2 more I want to make. So I'm literally spending every second of my day doing that besides, obviously the housework. And so I have listened to a lot of audiobooks because of that. So the audiobooks I listened to were Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. I wanted to read the story because I've heard a lot about it. I feel like it's one of the classics and I just wanted to understand so I could understand the context. This was an audiobook and it was narrated by Tim Robbins, and I'm sorry, but Tim Robbins' female voices, horrid and very hard to listen to. Ugh, I could just not like the way he chose to voice women, so I would not recommend this particular audiobook personally. But this book is a dystopian book and it's set in a future where thinking too hard is illegal and the TV screams its propaganda at you 24/7. But most of all, firemen in this world don't put out fires. They start them. And mostly, they burn books. So we have Guy Montag. He is one of these said firemen. He's great at his job until one day he meets Clarice, a teenage chaos fairy who asks dangerous questions, and oh no, gets Guy thinking. And what happens? Well, this guy, Montag, promptly has an existential crisis. He starts stealing books. He defies his employers. He scares his wife with his radical thinking, and he quickly soon realizes, much to his detriment, that society seems to be allergic to ideas. And as you can imagine, things quite literally blow up. People are killed. Montag has to go on the run, but knowledge does survive through storytelling. So this is a very typical bleak dystopian book, and its main themes are of censorship and control, media saturation, conformity versus individuality, and memory, books, and cultural preservation. I feel like this book is still relevant in the age of doom scrolling. It is a classic for a reason. Bradbury does make commentary on passive entertainment, anti-intellectualism, and how comfort can sometimes be more dangerous than censorship. I thought the ideas of this book are fantastic. They're great. This definitely reminds me of George Orwell's 1984 and Lois Lowry's The Giver. Unfortunately, Guy Montag is a character that I did not like. He's a bit of an oaf. I didn't buy that he was even capable of having such a radical change of perspective after just a few conversations with this teenager and seeing some actions in a different light and being exposed to literature. He was just not the character that I wanted to be. It's just not the character that I wanted to steer this vehicle. I would have preferred anybody else that is more compelling. I also found the way the story was told was just, I don't know. I didn't love it, so I've settled on a 3.25. Like, idea of it, themes, messaging, fantastic, but actual execution, characters, not so much. But also my enjoyment might have been affected negatively by Tim Robbins' voice narration, so that could have been in play. Then I picked up the audiobook for The White Book by Han Kang. This was narrated by Jennifer Kim, who I think did a really great job. So in this book, Han decides to visit a forest city and think about white things. So breast milk, snow, rice, and then proceeds to write a book-length apology/love letter to her deceased sister who passed away hours after she was born. In this book, almost nothing happens except emotionally. So grief is the main theme of this book, and grief wanders around quietly, taps you on the shoulder, and sits with you in silence. It is very slim, spare, and hauntingly sterile in a way. Han strips language down to its bare bones, wraps them in white gauze, and asks you to take a look. It is strung together with fragments, meditations, and small luminous moments. I don't think it's a book for people who need action, dialogue, or traditional structure. It is, however, for people who really love quiet books that are poetic and coolly emotional. It's grief without melodrama. That's blue. I really think I would have preferred to read this as a book rather than listen to it as an audiobook. So audiobooks are my least preferred format. I have to really concentrate so I can stay immersed, but I still feel like audiobooks just pull you along. There's no real like sinking in with an audiobook for me like there is with a book. I would wanted to sit with this book and meditate on it and maybe put it down, think about it, rather than just listen to it in one go as an audiobook. But that being said, I still really enjoyed it. I'm giving it a 3.5. For me, similar books to this would be Bluets by Maggie Nelson and Outline by Rachel Karsk. I'm still reading word by word, and I have just started Cinder by Freya Marske. I'll be listening to a lot of audiobooks until I complete all these decks that I want to make. Cinder is a Cinderella retelling. In this one, Cinder is dead and haunting her house. She was murdered by her stepmother, who also murdered her father because the stepmother wanted that real estate, and she is being tormented by her evil stepsister, who is also a sorceress. So there is more magic in this one. And whilst there is a fairy godmother, in this one, Cinder is the moving force in her own story. She has a lot more agency. She is the one that is sort of trying her best to wrest control back from her evil stepmother and stepsister, and she is making things happen for her. So yes, she's getting assisted, but she has, like I said, a lot more agency than the original Cinderella. At first, I thought this was going to be sapphic, and I don't think I'm the only one who felt that way, especially too because Cinder was let's just say, the way she was talking about women and noticing women, I was like, okay, Cinder sapphic. But no, she does fall for the prince just like she does in the original tale. This prince is a dancer, and he too has a sort of condition or a curse, if you will, that is conducive to Cinder's situation. So they are a bit of a match made in heaven, but obviously there are external evil forces at play that are trying to ruin Cinder's chance of a happily ever after, as much as a dead girl can get. Anyway, I'm enjoying it. There was a bit of a scene where there were hands up skirts and hands cupping bulges over pants, so I don't know how steamy it's going to get. I've only got an hour left. It's a short book because I do prefer to have audiobooks that I can listen to in one sitting while I work, so I can finish it while I'm doing my deck creation. And I'm not someone who listens to audiobooks at a high speed because I cannot. I will lose all comprehension, and I won't be able to retain any information if I do that. So I generally look for books at around 6 to 8 hours, so I can finish them in the one day. So I'm on to that. I'm decided that I'm going to finish this vlog off tomorrow on Christmas. I want to have a few days break where I'm not content creating from Christmas to the new year. So whatever I finish by then, that'll be the end of this vlog. I'll take you with me to Christmas tomorrow. Today is very busy. It's Christmas Eve, so I've got to bake a lot of desserts to take to Christmas tomorrow. I've got to clean the house. Valentine's got friends over. There's a lot happening, and there's a lot happening. So it's just that busy time of the year. I did want to mention a few things. So supposedly it's my 3-year anniversary for BookTube. So 3 years ago I decided to make this channel, and no regrets. I think this is one of the best things I ever did. I have made a lot of really wonderful friendships, both with other book content creators and with my subscribers. So I've had all these wonderful, beautiful earth angels come into my life, and I wanted to thank 3 of them for their donations to my channel recently. And those gentlemen are Tom, Zach, Jay, and Atalos. I'm sorry, Atalos, I don't know your actual first name. I only know your online name, but thank you for your generous gifts. This has all come recently after I have done a lot of work with receiving. So if you watch my other channel, you'll know that I'm not great with receiving. I'm much more of a giver and a nurturer, but I think too, if I'm going to be completely honest, a lot of it has to do with how when I'd been given things in the past, it was always with strings attached. It was always with obligations. It was always with conditions. It was always with power. I've given you this, you owe me, I control you. And I think the reason why I had such issues receiving is because I didn't want to be beholden to anybody. And it made me feel weird. And I thought, no, I've been through all this crap lately, multiple deaths in the family, and then a lot of financial hardship and health hardship and blah, blah. And I thought, you know what? It's okay to receive. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to let other people lend a hand without feeling obligated to do something back. Not everyone gives with the expectation that you will return the favor immediately. And that's something that, I had to do a lot of work with. So I just really have been working on that with my tarot decks, and got to a place where I was like, you know what? Yes, I'm happy to receive. I'm happy to receive assistance. I'm happy to receive gifts, and I will do so gladly, gratefully, without feeling like I owe the people for their kindness and their generosity. And since doing that, I had so many people reach out. Like I said, I had the wonderful people who donated to the channel so that I could buy some books, because I'm going to be completely honest with you, my book budget for next year was so small because I need to save up for, costly repairs. And so I was only going to be able to buy a few books over the whole year. But because of them, I've been able to pre-order some of my most anticipated releases. I've been able to purchase a few 5-star books on my bookshelf. So thanks to them, I was able to buy books when I didn't think I was going to be able to, because, money was tight. And then I had some lovely people offer to send me decks. So I love tarot and oracle decks, and I was talking about, I would love more of these, but the cost is prohibitive, because I also have a very small budget for decks as well. So I only buy so many a year, and there were so many that obviously I wanted but couldn't afford. And yeah, people reached out and said, hey, I've got that deck, I'd like to send it to you, or hey, I've just bought these for you because you're wonderful and I appreciate you, and this is something I want to do. And it's hard every time. I feel the itch to say no, like to refuse a gift, to refuse support, to refuse help, to refuse generosity, because I think it's just a bit ingrained in me that, and I have to work on it, that when I give things to people, I don't want them to feel obligated to do something in return. I'm giving because it makes me feel good, because it's me showing my appreciation for them. So then why do I try to deny others the same joy when it comes to them wanting to give me something? So I just wanted to thank everybody that has just been so charitable and just like so fucking kind and amazing. A lot of these people, I've never met them. I don't know them in the real world, and yet They reached out to do something wonderful for me, to just perform this act of kindness, and I'm truly honored and I appreciate it. So yeah, thank you. I don't want to get too sappy about it, but I just did want to thank you all. It was just this influx of Christmas miracles, I guess, just wonderful presents that I wasn't expecting, but that I'm very happy to have been given. So thank you very much. I have met so many wonderful people, both book content creators and subscribers. My life has been enriched by the connections that I have made. That is the absolutely most positive, wonderful thing that has come out of this, to not feel as alone, to feel part of a community, to be seen and heard and appreciated. And yeah, I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude and love and thankfulness today. But I will, oh, my mum's here. I've got to go. She's come bearing gifts. Can't make this shit up. I can see a gift bag in her hand. Oh, I forgot something as well. So I've got my lovely cleaners here at the moment. So these ladies come once a month to just scrub my bathrooms and my floors and do all the big jobs that take a lot out of me. So I'm so thankful for them and very fortunate that I can afford to have some cleaning ladies once a month. So I give them chocolates or some other vegan treat every year for Christmas. And once again, wasn't expecting anything in return, but they came bearing gifts today. I got all of these beautiful flower seeds. So I needed these. My wildflower garden in my yard needed a reseeding, and I hadn't gotten around to buying some, and now I don't need to. And not only that, I screamed when I saw this. She's so talented. So one of my ladies is an artist. I think they're both artists actually, but one of them painted this beautiful image of my foxes. I also have an owl that comes to visit, and I didn't name them. So these skulker foxes that come on my property every night, I've named them Lilu, Corbin, and Dallas. But how cool is this? How cool is this? I almost cried. So, because yeah, every month when they come, I show them photos and videos of the foxes and what they've been getting up to while they've been prancing about my garden. So now I have something to remember them by. So once again, yeah, just my heart overfloweth with all of the generosity and thoughtfulness of everybody around me. Okay, so I made one dessert, and this is a chocolate pistachio tart. So it's got a biscuit base. So it has a base and then the chocolate pistachio layer and then a chocolate ganache layer.
I'm taking aesthetic videos.
It's not aesthetic. Hello, my darlings. It's Boxing Day, it's the 26th. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day did not go as planned, but what can you do? You can't predict illness and you just have to make the most of it. So yeah, it's just been a bit, I don't know, it's just been a bit disappointing. Obviously, I didn't get to see my family this Christmas, but I'm with my kids, so that's what matters most to me, is to be with my children, and we're all okay. Thankfully, no trips to the ER. That was like on Christmas Eve when Indy went down. Yeah, as I was saying, when she went down with the fever, I was like, please, Lord, because I've been to the ER with my kids on Christmas Eve, and that's not the time you want to be there. So luckily, all good. They're getting better, so yeah, hopefully we'll be done with the illness this side of the year and start 2026 off fresh. But I have read some more books, or listened to some more books, I should say. Turns out this final reading vlog, last reading vlog of this year, but obviously you're seeing this in January, February, I don't bloody know, was all audiobooks. So I listened to the Cinder House by Freya, Marske. And to refresh your memory, in this one, Ella is dead and she's sort of become a haint. She's haunting her former house after having been murdered on the stairs by her evil stepmother, who was financially ambitious and ruthless, and she eventually discovers a loophole. And this loophole allows her to very briefly leave the house. And so she enters into this fairy bargain that gives her a corporeal body, for 3 days in which she can be seen, heard, touched, and just generally exist like a person until midnight. And during this time, she goes to a ball. She meets a prince who's also plagued by his own issues. Sylvie. But she also realizes that, well, I got cat hand on my mouth, that fairy tales don't save you. Your choices do. So I thought Ella was a great character. She's furious, she's darkly funny, she is very human despite being a ghost. But like I said, she isn't, oh, woe is me, poor me, there's nothing I can do. She's rightfully angry, but also aware of her circumstances, but trying her best to circumnavigate them, to sort of claw any bit of freedom or power that she can. Unfortunately, the ending of this just pissed me off. It pissed me off. How much can I say? This ended up veering, it's not romantic to me, in my opinion. It didn't go anywhere I thought it could possibly go. It went into a sort of voyeuristic polyamory territory. And I can't explain that without spoiling it. Okay, you know what? I'm going to do a spoiler section. I almost never do this, so spoiler text is on screen. In the end, she gets her vengeance, fantastic. Her warlock sister gets her comeuppance for her vile cruelty, as does her stepmother. Her house burns down, so the house that she was bonded to, her family's home. And so the prince, along with his betrothed sorceress, so he was having an arranged marriage, she changes Ella's connection from Ella's house to the palace. So Ella is now the palace's haunt. She can haunt the palace. And the way the magic works, only the owners of the house can see Ella. So the prince and the prince's mum and dad can see Ella. And the prince still goes ahead. The prince can't touch Ella, it doesn't seem like. I'm pretty sure he couldn't. So he goes ahead and marries the sorceress, so that the sorceress can also be a part of the family of the house and see Ella. But he's married to the sorceress. So Ella watches while the prince fucks his actual wife. Yeah, I'm like, okay, that's, I guess, something new. But I was like, no, I don't like that. I don't think that's great for Ella. Like, okay, yes, she didn't die, as in like completely perish, fade from existence because her house burned down. And now she's got a much larger floor plan to haunt. And the palace spy master is like, hey, we can use this bitch. She can be an information gatherer because no one can see her. So she's got like a job and a purpose. But like the romance angle is just yuck to me. I was actually liking their connection. I thought that they had chemistry. And then for him to just end up marrying this other chick and her having to just watch them. What? Yeah, not into it. I wasn't into it. So end of spoilers here. That was just not for me. Yeah, it did not stick the landing. So I'm giving it a 3. So that was a 3. I'm currently listening to The Book of Hope by Jane Goodall, Douglas Abrams, and Gail Hudson. I've only got 2 hours left, so I will finish that today as I continue to work. I love Jane Goodall. And I say love because I still love her despite the fact that she did pass away quite recently this year. I think it was in October. I just think that she, I guess I have to talk past tense, was an amazing person, and she fought the good fight. I guess most people would know her as a primatologist, so as the gorilla lady, the ape lady, the primate lady. But she was also an anthropologist and like a humanitarian and environmentalist and just, you know what I mean, like all these wonderful things. She was one of the good ones. And so I wanted to learn more about her, but I'm having problems with the way that this has been formatted. So this is just as much about Douglas Abrams, the author, as it is about Jane. And I'm sorry, but I don't really care to know about Douglas Abrams' personal life or his personal thoughts. I wanted to hear about Jane. They've structured this book around the theme of hope. So they're trying to say, give all these examples of where human hope prevails, and I guess, what we have done in the face of adversity in the past, and how we can make a difference now despite the overwhelming shit state of the world. But what they do is Jane's part, so I love that Jane is speaking her own parts in this. Jane's parts are almost in an interview format. So she's responding as if she's been asked a question. But then Douglas is sort of talking to us and about Jane. So it's very weird when all of a sudden he's like, and then I asked Jane, so what did you think about that? And then Jane just goes, that's a very good question. Like it's a bit weird and disjointed. And like I said, he interjects all the time with like, this reminded me of the time my dad passed away or whatever. And I'm just like, I want it to be more about Jane. And like I said, the weird format of it, I keep getting jolted every time he's talking to us about himself, whatever. And then Jane's just talking as if we'd asked her a question and we didn't ask her a question, or we didn't see an interviewer ask her a direct question. So yeah. But he's just always like, oh, I've got this friend. She's like, oh, tell me more about it, because, she's a polite human being. But I'm like, mate, can you just let her speak about her stuff? Do we have to hear you every time? Be like, oh, speaking of that, Jane, my uncle, he did something about this. And I'm like, okay. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to end up rating this on Goodreads, because my issues with Douglas not Jane Goodall. But, yeah, I'll let you know my thoughts about it when I finish. So I've just got 2 hours to go. I have to take a break soon because my ex-boyfriend's mum's coming over. She wants me to help her with some legal work. So after that's all done, and once I finish the book, I'll come back and I will finish off this vlog. And then, like I said, I'm going to take the rest of the year off, or just at least a few days off from content creation, and then I'll come back. So I'll see you soon.
Hello. Oh, scratch. Oh, hello. You're so hello.
Hello, my beautiful, beautiful people. Is that weird angle? Is that better? It's almost dinner time. It's starting to get dark, but I have finished. So what do I think? So, yeah, I don't know why, but I just don't like Douglas Abrams and the way that he kept interjecting and making it about himself and his experiences instead of about Jane. I really didn't like the pandemic talk about COVID. Could have done without that. I understand that was going on at the time that this was being done. Yeah, like I said, I understand that it's meant to be about hope, but I did find it, I don't know, just sort of depressing and deflating, being reminded of all the shitty things humans have done, and disasters, and animals in peril, and the polar bears and everything else. It's depressing, and primates being tested on. I'm aware of all this stuff as someone who loves animals, and I was vegan for 18 years, and it was very much during my animal advocate era. So I don't know. Like I said, I love Jane, and I think she was an angel on earth, and the world is worse off without her. But in regards to this book, co-written by Douglas Abrams, I didn't like that. I didn't like it. Would have preferred somebody else did it. And like I said, the formatting was very weird and odd. I listened to this as an audiobook. I'm not sure if the physical book is different. I'm assuming it's not, but it was just very off-putting. So yeah, glad to have listened to Jane and Jane's thoughts and opinions on things, but I would have liked if Douglas had piped down a little bit. I apologize for the guy. I've got my computer on because I'm still working. I'm now summing up, so I'm now going to sum up all of the books that I read, listened to in this vlog. So I listened to Fahrenheit by Ray Bradbury. I gave this a 3.25. A man learns that thinking is illegal for a reason. The White Book by Han Kang. Is it Han Kang? Han Kang? I'll look that up later. I gave this a 3.5. a haunting minimalist meditation on grief, absence, and survival, written in the language of white things. Cinder House by Freya, Marske, which I gave 3 stars. A murdered Cinderella ghost bargains for 3 nights of visibility and discovers that reclaiming her life, however briefly, means rewriting the fairy tale entirely. And the last book that I listened to for this vlog was The Book of Hope by Jane Goodall, Douglas Abrams, and Gail Hudson. This book argues that despite environmental crisis, hope, rooted in human ingenuity, nature's resilience, youth, and the indomitable human spirit, is essential to motivate action and protect the planet. She has a lot more hope than I do about things changing. But those were all the books that I listened to for this reading vlog. Let me know down below something that you read or listened to recently. If you don't know what to comment something white, a white emoji. And until next time, stay wild, Star Child.